Do you think most people are going to heaven? You know, Jesus had something to say about that in Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. He says, "Enter by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate, and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it." So according to Jesus, and Jesus is the judge, most people are on their way to destruction. Most people are on their way to hell, not to heaven. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to be in the minority on this one. I don't want to be like most people. I want to be on that narrow road, that road that's hard to find. And as Jesus says in that same 7th chapter of Matthew, you've got to look. He says back in verse 7, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you." I don't know where you are right now, where you stand before God, but if you're looking for answers, if you're looking for that narrow way to life, I want to tell you that it's out there. You can find it. In fact, if you've got a Bible open in front of you, here is the way you find it. You look right here. If you stay in that same 7th chapter of Matthew, down in verses 21 through 23, Jesus has a few more things to say about that. He says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, 'Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name?' And then I will declare to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness.'" These are 3 very important verses. Jesus says, even among people who believe that they're right, believe that they're Christians, even among those people, there will be some who practice lawlessness. Now, those people are sincere. They believe that they're doing what's right. And as Jesus says in verse 22, they say, "Look at all the things that we've done for you, Lord. We've done all these amazing things. See, we believe in you. We're your followers." And yet Jesus says in verse 23, "I never knew you. I never knew you. You practice lawlessness. You're not doing the will of my Father in heaven." Did you also notice in verse 22 that word "many" pops up? Remember what he says back in verse 13? He says, "Many go in by the wide way to destruction." Many go in by it. And many people believe they're on the right path. Many people think that they're doing what's right. And yet Jesus says, "I never knew you." I don't know about you, but I don't want to be one of those people. I want to be one of those people who hears, "Come, enter into life, faithful servant." I want to find that narrow path, and I want to be on that path all the way until my dying breath. The key, as Jesus says, is to do the will of God. To ask, to seek, and to search out, to find out what the will of God is. That's how you stay on the narrow path. So if you're watching this video or other videos on our website, I encourage you to just keep on watching. Keep on listening. Keep that Bible open and search. Search for that narrow path. Because if you're like me, that's where you want to be. We all want to go to heaven. And yet, Jesus says, few there are who find it.